Record. Here we go. All right, so we are going to dig deep tonight in how to build to 100 customers. You guys know I've always said when you get to 100, the magic happens. Okay, we've taught on this before. We probably even have recordings, but like you guys know, we forget things or we add things, and you're always going to hear something new when we are training. And so the magic happens at 100 customers because you've got that consistent reorder. You've got the, so the reorders are coming in. You also have 100 people that said yes to you and yes to your product. Okay. And so when you have 100 customers, you've already went through all those people that said no. And you have 100 people that like you, they trust you, and they want what you have, and they want it for free, and your bookings get a lot easier. So many people quit before they get to 100. They don't understand the magic. So when you are building to 100, I want you to think of yourself as a farmer. Okay, imagine you're a farmer and you are expecting a harvest, but yet you didn't plant the seed. You didn't cultivate the land, you didn't plant the seed, you didn't fertilize, you didn't water, and therefore you don't get a harvest. And so it just cracks me up when you have people that just give up, and they really never even planted their fields. And so I just want you to always think about that analogy as you're just digging deep every single week. I want you to get into the mindset that I've got to fight for that one appointment every single week, because that's all it takes, is just that one appointment consistently. You know, easy to do, easy not to do. That's why they say there's such a fine line between success and failure. It's so easy for us this next week not to work on getting that one appointment held. Okay. Or that one new face. When I started, it was Tuesday night for me. Every Tuesday night, I was going to hold some type of appointment, whether it was a face, two faces, a party, or on the go, or whatever. I was going to do something on that Tuesday. And I fought every week to make sure that I had that appointment. And then I would get that next week booked and that next week booked. And so it's work. No one sent you a bunch of customers in your starter kit. None of us got that. We all sell the same product. We sell the same product at the same price. No one has an advantage. Okay. I'm going to also say this too. You are not ever going to get rich off your family and friends. The magic really is going to happen when you start booking outside your family and friends. All right. I'm just going to use Debbie as an example. She was, in the beginning, she was selling and selling, and she started with, lucky for Debbie, she had a good amount of friends that she could start with. I didn't, but I kept telling her, once you get past, your intimate circle, that's where you're going to find your team. Everything happens outside of that comfort zone. And, boom, she got past 100 and her team started forming. It was organically, but the work was done. The seeds were planted, the seeds were fertilized, and then God provides the rain. And, you just got to give him something to bless. And I'm saying this because as I coach different women and consultants in this business, a lot of times is they're sitting back waiting for their crop to harvest, but they have never planted that seed. So I'm going to give you some tips right now, and then I'm going to let Marianne give you some of her tips. I always had 3 irons in the fire. Okay. What I mean by that is I always had 3 types of lead generating opportunities or tools or events that I did. Here are my 3. Okay. I was always going to have referrals that I got from my appointments. I will tell you, if you'll go and watch my referral video, I wasn't always good at remembering to get those. Okay. I had to get really good at remembering the referrals. And the reason was because I would not have my workstation in order, and I would close the sale before I did the party game, which was the referral Desert Island game. And so I would get the sale, and I would be all wrapped up in the sale, and I would be on the way home and I'm like, oh gosh, I didn't get any referrals. I didn't get any future bookings, and my parties ended there. I had customers, but I didn't work it full circle. And so if you'll watch that referral video, I really go into detail of how I force myself to have that workstation. And if I've done a party for you, you'll notice that when I go through the products and I have my before and afters, I'm cleaning up as I'm going. Okay. I'm putting my before and afters in my bag. And so what's left after I do the presentation is now we play the referral game. Then I get those. And then we play the green card game. So I'm going to stop right there because it's on top. Those sheets, if you'll watch me, they're on top of my closing sheet. I can't get to my closing sheets until I play the referral game and I play the booking green card game. Okay. And so that's how I fixed getting to get those referrals, because Mary Kay used to always tell us, you've got to be more excited about those referrals and that future booking than that sale that you just got. Okay. Because the referrals and your bookings that's your future. Okay. That's getting you past your family and friends. Okay. That's getting you past to the people that see you as a professional businesswoman. They see you as the Mary Kay. You're the only Mary Kay that they're ever going to meet. And your business just gets a little different. It just kind of takes on a life of its own. So that's the number one way. That's my first iron in the fire that I got really, really good at. All right. The second was facial boxes. Okay. I always had 5 to 10 out. For those that just get one out, let me tell you what's going to happen. One or two things: your facial box is going to get thrown away, or another direct sales company, they're going to steal your names inside that facial box. Yep, that's what they do. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So here's what I started doing. I used to put my name in that facial box as if I'm the customer. So I would catch whoever stole my names. And we actually have caught somebody before. One was another brand. I'm not going to mention. I'm sure she's not in business now, but my facial box is having 5 to 10 out. That gave me, the numbers that I needed. I needed to bring in 25 names from my facial boxes. So if half of them got thrown away, then I had something that's going to generate at least 25 names that week. Now, you're going to book about, from that, I used to book about 1 out of 5 because they actually filled it out. It was kind of like my same odds from my vendor booth. Okay. And we're going to talk about that next. And I have a video on lead generating events, and it talks about my vendor booth and my facial boxes. Okay, so it's 52 minutes long. So you make sure you watch. I think the first 42 minutes is the how to do a vendor booth, and then the last 10 minutes is my facial boxes. Here's what I would recommend. I do not recommend ordering those $15 boxes from MK Connections. It's too pricey because they are going to get thrown away. You can go to, I sent pictures last week or a few weeks ago on the Hobby Lobby boxes that were 99 cents. I'm sure you can even find those on Amazon. But if you'll go to Boards, our Boards app, and you go to facial, I think it's under facial boxes. I actually have a picture of how to build it. And all you got to do is have those little registration cards. I believe I have those on there, and you print those like 6 to sheet, 8 to a sheet, cut them out, punch a hole, thread them through the ribbon, tie a pin with the ribbon, and that way it doesn't get lost. So if that you can build it for $3 per box. So if you've got 10 boxes out, you've spent $30, and you just go to nail salons, tanning salons. Okay, in January, tanning salons get hot. They are not hot right now. They get hot in January, and they stay hot until the end of June. Okay, those are good. Nail salons are always hot. What's not hot? Your hair salon. A lot of times, your hairdresser, at first they will be, but usually your hairdresser has the same clients that come in. A hairdresser can only handle so many customers, and once she gets enough, she stops getting new customers, and especially if she has her own salon. But you know, it will be hot. It'll be hot for a while, but once you get all those customers, you got to take it out of there. If a nail salon or a tanning salon is not producing, excuse me, in the first week or so, move it and take it somewhere else. This is how you can build in 10 geographic areas. I talk about that on that video. All right, and my third avenue of always having an iron in the fire, having 3 irons in the fire to generate leads, is the vendor opportunities, craft fairs, Christmas fairs, car shows, chili cook-offs, town square, you name it, wherever there are people, have a table. I go into really great detail about how to do that, what to watch for, what scams to watch for, making sure that if it's a big lead generating event, you know, bridal fair, and they're charging a lot of money, I talk about what to look for. Or if it's something that says, oh, it's a woman's day, and you're like, and they're charging you $500, don't do it, because you've got to always know, always got to ask, what is going to get a woman out on a Saturday or Sunday to come to this event? It's got to be something that is drawing her there. So, like a baby expo, a bridal expo, car show, craft fair. But if it's a woman event, let me just tell you what it's going to be. It's going to be all direct sale people, and nobody's going to be coming in. And so you've got to look for the, $25 to $75 is a great price for a craft fair, Christmas bazaar, things like that. So I go into detail, watch that video. Also, 80% of your bookings on the referral sheets are going to come from your 5th and 6th point of contact, or that's with any bookings. And so you've got to know the odds. Okay. So your first 2, 3, 4 points of contact, what you don't get, you got to go back through and keep, you've got to have a different script for that second point of contact. I have some scenarios on our boards under scripts, and you'll see points of contact. And so you'll know what to say. As long as they don't say, stop texting me, then you just keep, if they say, call me back next month, or you've got to keep following up. Follow up is the key. Okay. The fortune is in the follow up. And if until they say stop, you make it to that 5th and 6th point of contact. Okay. And there's really great scripts that's non-threatening, that doesn't sound pushy. None of this is pushy at all. You're just following up, just like answer me, say yes or no, and I'll move on. And then working from a hot list. So some of you are going to work from a hot list. If you know a lot of people, working from that hot list of writing down everybody that you know with skin, okay, and dividing that. When you've gone through your checklist as a new consultant, I have that, it says hot list, and it says ABC, and I teach you how to separate. A is your chicken list, B is your go-to people, and C are the people from either one of those lists that you think would be a great consultant, that you've got to get in front of this product. You've got to offer this opportunity. And because that's how you work this business full circle. Mary Kay used to always say, don't just take a piece of the pie, take the whole pie. That's where, take advantage of all this that's happening naturally. It's naturally happening. They like you, they try the product, they buy the product, they reorder the product, they want the product for free, they've shared their appointment with girlfriends, you get a booking from that, and then they see you making money, they're like, oh, I need a side hustle, I want more information. You send them a video, you give them a free gift for listening and asking questions, you learn how to do marketing, and boom, you got a new team member. That is full circle. That is full circle. That's how it happens organically. You didn't push anybody to do anything. This product sells itself. This business is an amazing business. You do not have to beg people. Okay. I just want you to know that the average woman who doesn't have the skill of finishing will quit something in 6 to 7 weeks. Okay. 6 to 7 weeks. If you know that you have an inner core that is a quitter, okay, you can stop that. This is a business of personal growth. And we give you all the tools. You listen to a motivational, we have motivational messages called the $1 Million Message every day. It's a 4 to 6 minute message, sometimes 3 minutes. Stay motivated. Say your affirmations. What are affirmations? Write out your goals. Let me see if I can do mine real quick. I'm Michelle Byers, Future Executive Sales Director with Mary Kay, Future National Sales Director with Mary Kay, driving my pink Cadillac, representing my unit on the 2023 seminar stage in the $500,000 Circle of Excellence. Driving my pink Cadillac, I am loved, I'm forgiven, I'm the daughter of the King, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's my daily affirmations. Okay, what did I just say? I'm going to be a national sales director. I'm going to drive my pink Cadillac. I'm going to represent my unit in the $500,000 Circle of Excellence this seminar year. Those are the things I'm working on. And I'm telling myself, why do I do that? Because your brain doesn't know the difference between a dream and a reality. And when you tell it positive things, it goes to work to make that happen. My brain is going to work to make it happen. My brain is not saying, you're not going to do $500,000. Your unit's not that size yet. You're not going to be a national because you only have 3 offspring. You're changing that negative record. When you told yourself all these negative things for year after year after year, your brain shuts down and it doesn't even dream anymore. God can't work inside a comfort zone. He's not there. God can do anything. God can do all things outside your comfort zone. And that's where the personal growth comes in. That is a total faith walk. Okay. You have to fight every single day, for that, to overcome that negative thing. You're going to have those. We all have that. That's why we do it, because we are in an emotional business where we deal with people. Okay. And you're in the sales force. The sales force, you have to stay motivated because we get more no's than anybody. Mary Kay herself used to say, I am only where I am today because I've had more no's than you have. My knees are bloodier. I can say that to you because I am where I am today because I've had more no's than you. And you know what? No means next. It also means that rejection is God's protection. And when I learned those 2 little quotes, that's all I needed. Because I know that when somebody says no or somebody cancels, I just move on. God was protecting me from something. But when they say yes, the no's will not kill you, but the yeses will rock your world. Okay. Remember those 100 customers. They were all yeses. And that's where the magic happens. Okay. So Marianne, I'm going to let you share some things. And then I've got some, I think I've already covered what I was going to say, but, oh yeah, I can finish with just one little paragraph. So go ahead. Let me pin you again.
Michelle, go ahead and finish whatever you were saying. You're flowing.
Okay, so I wanted you guys to treat yourself like a racehorse because everybody's race is different. Everybody. Okay. It's so natural for women to compare themselves to other people. It is so natural. We don't do that in Mary Kay because your journey to the top of this mountain it can be a different path. You can cross paths, but it's not the same straight shot. The people on stage at seminar, you can ask Debbie, they were all cut from a different mold. It wasn't a cookie cutter. Everybody looked different, okay? Because it's an inside job. And so I want you to treat yourself like a racehorse, okay? A racehorse, if you'll watch the Kentucky Derby or the Beaumont, a lot of those racehorses have blinders on. And the reason is so that they can run their best race and not keep up with their competitor. You're like, oh, we're running. I'm keeping, you can just take off. And that's what I want you to do. I don't want you to care what your sister's doing. I want you to want to be the best. I want you to be that front racehorse. When you see the newsletter at the beginning of every month, I want you to say, because it's good competition. I always wanted to be number one when I was a consultant. I was not good at getting my weekly sales in. And so nobody knew what I was doing weekly because I was a hot mess. But my sales director knew that I was competitive. And before she did that newsletter, every single end of the or the beginning of the month for the last month, she would call me and say, because we didn't have text back then, she would say, hey, what's your sales total? Because I'm getting ready to do the newsletter. She honored she knew what made me soar and or soar as in high. And I would add up my totals and I give them to her so that I could be in that newsletter. But my organization was just a hot mess. I'm just going to tell you, organizing is not going to make you any money. When Marianne, Trinity, and Jennifer, my offspring, and I asked Tammy this, my last, any of my offsprings, before they finish becoming sales directors, like their last month, I'll say, send me a picture of your office because I want it to be like a hurricane went through. If I see that a hurricane went through, I know that they can handle this business because if you can work from chaos, I know that they're mentally stable and they can handle a lot on their plate. And so organizing your office is not making you money, but booking, coaching, selling, recruiting is going to make you a lot of money. And so be the racehorse, be out in front, run your own race, but want to win. Okay. And remember, everybody's journey looks different to the top of the mountain. All right, Marianne.
Okay. So not a lot to add to that because that's fantastic and always re-inspiring. But in addition to, Michelle's irons in the fire, the getting referrals and the vendor booths, which I absolutely love, and the facial boxes, definitely agree with that. I sometimes, as I need to, I will go out and warm chatter, not clam chowder, as we talked about before, but basically just when I'm out and about and, in the grocery store or in a restaurant, and I see someone who's positive and, I would love to get to know them. I would love to pamper them. I just let them know that, I give them a genuine compliment. That's what I do, that no matter what, whether I want to get together with them as a customer, I just give out positive compliments all the time because people need that. And sometimes I'll invite them to be a part of my fall model portfolio and give them a free pampering session. And sometimes they say yes, and sometimes they say no. And I get their phone number and then I call and text them back and book it. And sometimes they don't answer me back and sometimes they say yes. And so it just depends on my season. There were some seasons where money was super tight and it was like, I didn't even have enough to go buy a facial box. And that's what I had to do because talking was free. I did what I had to do to get myself out of a rut, And so I always love different seasons because they teach us new skills that we need. Some skills that you don't have right now, you're going to have to learn it later. And so I'm grateful for all those opportunities because they've just made me more skilled. They've sharpened me because you will do what you need to do when you need to do it. Let's see, building to 100. Gosh, that was so good, Michelle. A couple things, the customer service that will help with that also is Mary Kay Ash also taught us 2 + 2 + 2, which means once you've sat with them or done virtual and they've gotten their product, following up 2 days later to check on them and say, hey, just want to do a courtesy check-in and see how your products are doing. Do we need to, swap anything out? Is everything working the way you like it? Because women are funny. Like sometimes if something's not working right, some women, they won't tell you. They just don't have the confidence. They don't want to offend you. They don't want to hurt your feelings. They think you're going to have to come out of pocket and it's going to be wasted. And they don't want to do that. And so it is our responsibility to check in on them and allow them to say that. Like, you know what? I think this is not the right moisturizer. Or no, you know what? This foundation's actually not the right color. So that is great customer service. I love it when my doctor's office sends me a follow-up text and says, "Hey, how was your appointment?" I was like, they thought about me, even though I know it's an automated text but the sentiment is there. I still appreciate it. Then in 2 weeks, if it's an initial appointment, you're following up with them to do their color appointment, or every quarter to let them try the new fall products. And with that, our preferred customer program, the lookbooks, that's how people know you're still in business. People can't ride by your house and be like, is she still open? Is she still doing Mary Kay? Like that's not a thing. Whereas other businesses, people can drive by the business and see it's still there, it's still open, but you have to put yourself out there, and that's through our preferred customer program, which is sending them those lookbooks 5 times a year. You cannot send them any cheaper than our preferred customer program. It's amazing. It is the cheapest way to advertise and get yourself out there. That's also a way to let other people know that you are their consultant, so that they can remember your name. And so if another consultant comes by and wants to offer them product or whatever, they say, no, Melissa's my consultant. How does she know? Because she's still getting lookbooks from Melissa. And because Melissa's name on there, she knows Melissa's name. Melissa's following up with her and checking to make sure she got her lookbook. You got to follow up with that too, because sometimes those things get put in the trash. Sometimes spouses throw them away and think they're junk mail. I send out a message ahead of time, say, hey, be on the lookout. Your lookbook's coming. Tell your spouse, don't you dare throw that away, or else he's sleeping on the couch. It's got a free sample inside. They're so excited. So they are looking for that lookbook so it does not get thrown away. And then I follow up afterwards to see if they want to try it or if there's anything they want. So that is great customer service, is the preferred customer program. That's all I got for now,
Awesome.
Michelle. What's our time?
Hey, 9:33. You did really, really good. All right, guys, let's stop the recording really quick.